are trying to market yourself or talk about something that is beneficial to someone else, that's going to make their lives better, it's going to bring improvement to their lives, that is absolutely something that should be human first and foremost, with emotions. So when it comes to stories, the way you talk about copy or the benefits or features of whatever that you're selling, or how you're trying to build a connection with the person who is listening, that is first and foremost the most important. Because what stories do is that they get absorbed faster than just facts and figures.
Welcome to the exclusive Mindful Marketing podcast. I'm Eamon, and today I'm thrilled to have Seema with us, who is an expert in confidence and personal branding for introverts, which I think is very different from others. And today we have a very interesting topic to talk about. That is what makes a story worth talking about. So Seema, all over to you. Can you tell me what actually makes a story worth talking about in your perspective?
First of all, thank you for having me, Ayman. And I just want to give a message out there for everyone listening that no matter what you're going through, all of it is intentional in the end. All of it has meaning at the end of it. So when we talk about story, I really want to separate worth from story, because no matter what, you have worth to begin with. You have inherent worth. So I don't really want to place conditions on any part of yourself, thinking that, okay, only if this happens to me, I'm worthy to share it. Only if I'm this, then I'm worthy to talk about it. So I just want to, first of all, place that first and foremost, that you have worth no matter what. Subsequently, when we talk about the sharing of the story, we have to take a look at how it applies to someone who is an audience member, or someone who's a community member, or someone who is listening to the story, because we're looking for connection building. When we talk about our story, it's so that we can impact someone else with our story, someone we can share wisdom with, the lessons with, the roadblocks with, the struggles with, and how we came triumphant at the end of it. We're not telling the story to vent. We're not telling the story to, just talk about it endlessly. That's not what it is. When we share our story, it's so that someone else can benefit from that. So I say, as long as your story can benefit someone, that is relevant for someone else, that they can take away lessons from it, they can actually greatly impact from that, that is a story absolutely worth sharing.
That's true. So how do you think that marketeers can actually take advantage of all of this that you've said? How can they take advantage of emotional intelligence and emotional triggers when it comes to their marketing campaign, so that it does not look too, saley and all? What do you think about that?
I think we have to kind of step back, Ayman, and recognize what is happening in the marketing world today to begin with, because we have kind of distilled down marketing to a formula, taking away all empathy from it. And when we do infuse empathy, it's, as you said, gimmicky. It's so that, it does seem emotionally intelligent. It does seem humane. But that should be the foundational principles of marketing to begin with. It should lead with empathy to begin with, because if you are trying to market yourself or talk about something that is beneficial to someone else, that's going to make their lives better, it's going to bring improvement to their lives, that is absolutely something that should be human first and foremost, with emotions. So when it comes to stories, the way you talk about copy or the benefits or features of whatever that you're selling, or how you're trying to build a connection with the person who is listening, that is first and foremost the most important. Because what stories do is that they get absorbed faster than just facts and figures and just talking about a certain feature. Stories have proven to actually have sticking power. People actually remember stories when you tell information in the form of a story, rather than just spew out numbers, for example. So I say that you can absolutely infuse emotions, empathy, the human connection in marketing. However, the caveat is that should be the foundation of marketing to begin with. But storytelling actually makes it easier to convey the message and for them to receive it.
That's true. So a lot of companies nowadays, they're running after, viral campaigns. That's like, all over the hype, over LinkedIn, everywhere. That,
Yes.
you have to create something that is viral. But then you
Yes.
notice that after the viral campaign is finished, the brand is lost somewhere. After 2, 3 months, we forget about the brand. So, what do you have to say about that? What is the reason that this happens? Is it again because there's no empathy involved, there's no emotional connection involved?
For this, I think we're looking at the forest for the trees, kind of, because we have to really identify what our goals are. There's absolutely nothing wrong with going viral, by the way. I think if that's your goal, absolutely go for it. And a lot of people benefit from that because in this day and age, people are looking for entertainment. They're looking for something viral to consume. And, it can be an escape for a lot of people, and there's nothing wrong with that. However, if you are a business, a solopreneur, an entrepreneur, you're trying to promote a product or yourself, and you are in this viral mindset that I have to reach as many people as possible, you are playing a volume game.
Yeah.
Right? However, when you're playing a volume game, you are appealing to a broad range of people. And when it comes to branding, if you're appealing to everyone, you're appealing to no one. So the reason the brand gets lost in all of this noise, it's because you were not specific enough. Specific messaging is so hyper specific that only the person who is the most ideal, suitable customer or client is going to receive that. But if you're talking about something very, very broad, then everyone can receive that. So the problem usually is in the messaging. It's usually in what the content piece is about, because many people are afraid to get very specific or very, very niche in their messaging, thinking that they won't reach enough people. But in the process, when they do reach a lot of people, they're not really making impact on the ones that matter the most, the ones that they want the business from, or the ones that they want to hear from the most. So the reasoning behind the brand getting lost in the virality is not enough specificity. So if that's your goal, then you absolutely have to get hyper specific.
Right. So, what's your advice for those, marketeers or those businesses who want to involve emotional triggers into their marketing campaigns? Is there any specific way? And if yes, then what emotional triggers, should they target? Whether it should be humor or it should be, any other type of emotion. What do you think about that?
So if it's a solopreneur, entrepreneur, someone who is an actual human, with a personality, with the story, with a face, with a background, with a voice, that is extremely easy to infuse emotions in it because you are a living, breathing entity. You are someone who has emotions. You are someone who has been through something. So for you, it's the easiest to actually infuse emotions because you have been through things. You
Yeah.
have been through struggles. You have been through triumphs. You have been through something that has brought you here today. You have an origin story, right? And there is a reason that you are here today. Infuse that in your marketing, your storytelling, because that's what actual other humans connect to. If you are a brand, create that entity, create the voice, create the feeling, create everything. And when it comes to humor, etc., that's going to come down to what your brand personality is like. So if you are a human solopreneur, entrepreneur, I absolutely advise leaning into your true personality. If you are quirky, show the quirks. If you are funny, show your humor. If you are a bit more sarcastic, show a bit of a Chandler Bing kind of personality that you have from Friends. If you are someone who has a very intense, soulful personality, bring that to the surface. If you're motivational, show that. Whatever your personality is like, bring that to the surface, because people are looking for things beyond being sold to all the time, because there's just so much noise now and so much pitching happening now where they're looking for something that's a breath of fresh air.
Yeah, that's true. So just what you said right now, I want to continue with that a lot of influencers and companies as well, they hire marketing agencies. And when
Yes.
they hire marketing agencies, usually marketing agencies are not part of the company, so they do not know the struggles
Mm,
that any individual or company has gone through. Do you think
yes.
that hiring these marketing agencies is not a good step? Because ultimately, they're not able to, create campaigns which can connect to the audiences as compared to if,
Not at all.
yeah.
Not at all. Sorry to cut you off there, Iman, but absolutely not. A good marketing agency, and emphasis on good because there's so many out there, a good marketing agency will do the homework. They will sit down with the founders, they will sit down with the CEO, they will sit down with anyone who's working at the company at every single level and actually draw out the story of the company. They will draw out the soul of the company. They will talk about the struggles. They will talk about how they got there. Any good marketing agency, Aman, will do their homework. And when they do find what the soul of the company is and what makes the company so unique and so interesting, that's what they can bring into the campaigns. I don't think that there's any failure of campaigns is because of the agency. I think it's because what the nature of the agency is and how deep they're willing to go. Because a lot of companies don't have the resources to pull off campaigns. They don't have dedicated marketing departments. So they will seek out agencies. And this is a prime opportunity for these agencies to actually say, hey, tell me all about your company. Tell me how you got here. Tell me what was the biggest struggle. Tell me who your audience is. Tell me why you started this product. Every single thing, right? And when they do have enough information, they will be able to pull off whatever campaign that they want. And if they aren't able to, if they get stuck, go back and ask. Go back to the drawing board. Get more information. There's no such thing as too much information when it comes to you actually delivering a message to the audience. So no, I do not believe that having an agency is a bad thing.
Right. So do you think that AI has impacted, the way that we are looking at marketing? And do you think that, using AI removes the emotional element from marketing campaigns?
Not entirely, but we have to be careful because it comes down to discernment. Now, if you look at mass media today, posts on Facebook or X, for example, you'll see a lot of a lack of fact checking. So anyone can upload anything, right? And you'll see manipulated images that are AI but aren't real. You'll see messages out there that are AI but not real. But it comes down to discernment from the audience to kind of recognize, is this real or not? Because unfortunately, the reality is that we cannot control it. We can't control what people put out there or how they do it or what they use to put the information out there. But what we can control is the consumption. We can control how we take in the information. We can control how we decipher the information and actually using our own methods to say, is this real or not? Right? And that's the first step towards understanding that AI goes beyond just generating answers or information. Now, if you are the AI user, I would say that today, if you use AI correctly, it can become your biggest tool that helps you actually grow your business. It can help you overcome roadblocks, writer's blocks. It can help you with copy. It can help you with sales. It can help you really generate ideas or generate information that you may not either have the time, the skills, or the willingness. You may just not be good at it, right? So when it comes to these things, AI can come in handy and it can actually replicate your voice. If you generate it correctly and if you program it correctly, AI can become your right-hand man, essentially, right? Or woman. And it can be the biggest tool at your disposal. So I don't think that AI is going to cause harm in any way or that it's taking away from marketing in any way. But as a consumer, I would say use discernment. And even if you're using the tool, I would say that be a bit more ethical about it. People can tell when something is AI generated. It reads in a very certain way, it uses certain words, and you can tell that, okay, this person has used a tool. So try and replicate your own voice. Try and edit it after you generate it so you actually see what you're putting out there rather than just copy and pasting. So I think AI can be very useful as long as you're using it correctly.
Right. So what message do you have for those new businesses or even new influencers, which are, starting their Instagram page, for example? How should they start off with, branding and, setting their tone of voice and their brand image? How should they start off?
It's a very long process, I'd say. So I'll just give you the high level here is just to recognize who are you at the very core of you, right? And what do you want to do? So identify who you are, identify your core values, and most of all, identify your why, because the soul of your brand is your purpose. Your purpose is going to come across to other people, right? You are on this earth for something. You have a special gift. You have a special skill. There is something that makes you uniquely you. Bring that to the surface and make your brand completely around your why. And take this why, apply it to other people. If you are a gifted speaker, if you are an orator who really touches the soul of other people, take that speaking skill, take that gift, and make that about other people. See how you can impact others. And then once you recognize what this is, then try and build messaging around that. Delivering the message of reaching people, and this is not just for speakers, for everybody. Messaging is going to be key for you to understand how the person takes in the information. Because what separates good brands from great brands is messaging, is the words that they use, is how they phrase things, how they recognize what the other person is going through so that they can make their gift about them. The key of personal branding, Ayman, is that it's not personal. It's not about you at the end of the day. It's about how you can take your gift, or how you can take yourself and make you about other people. Because the foundation of a personal brand is service. You are here to impact other people at large. So how can you take what you have and make it about them? And you have to recognize who these people are. You need to know who can benefit from what you have and what you bring to the table. So knowing their struggles, their hopes, their dreams, things that they will never say out loud to other people. Knowing that is going to be very, very important in actually talking to them and relaying information to them. And your vehicle of delivery of all of this information is going to be content. So once you have all of the foundational building done, I would highly, highly suggest really start creating content on some kind of social media platform or information platform. If you prefer long form, do YouTube or blogs. If you prefer short form, there's Instagram, there's LinkedIn, there's X, there are Pinterest even, depending on the medium that you enjoy the most. Really dial in on that and stay consistent. Stay as consistent as you can, and then you'll make improvements as you go, and you'll get better and better as you go.
That's right. So, do you have the same suggestion for, because you talk a lot about introverts, do you have the same suggestion for introverts? Is that the way that they should go for branding, especially if they're not comfortable coming on camera? Is there any other way that they can connect with their audience?
Absolutely. A video is just a medium I'm on. And what I like about video is that it's a huge trust builder. Like us talking like this, your viewers or your listeners are going to listen to my voice. They're going to see my face, maybe if it's on video, and they'll see, okay, this is a human. This is her perspective. This is how she says things. This is the vocabulary that she uses. This is her voice. So they kind of register these small things which build trust over time, because we want to connect with other people. And that's why I like video a lot. However, video is not the end all and be all. I didn't start with video. Most of my clients don't start with video because that's not what makes them comfortable. And if it's not comfortable, it becomes a roadblock, because you wait to become comfortable with video, and then that becomes a condition, and then you never start. Absolutely not. At the end of the day, your voice is what matters, even if it's in text form. So I say to my fellow introverts is start with whatever makes you feel comfortable. If it's text posts like carousels, which are multi-image, swipey kind of posts, start with that. If you prefer single images, static images, start with that. If you prefer podcasting is a fantastic way to actually get your real voice out there, humanize you, and, build trust as well. Do that. If you're comfortable with long form, such as a blog or long form text or essays, do that. There are so many ways to disseminate information that is not solely based on video. But I do recommend, if you would like to build more trust or have goals of securing speaking engagements or be guest speaking or on a podcast or in any way that requires you to be in front of other people, practice a little bit with video, whether it's in your own home, even if you don't post it, to just be in front of a camera or in front of an audience will start building confidence gradually to show you that there's nothing to fear. However, that will happen gradually, but you absolutely do not have to start with video.
Right. So when you come back to brands, like, in marketing, in courses at
Hmm.
university, we all talked about customer loyalty and how do you gain
Yes.
that. So do you think that the foundation of customer loyalty at the end of the day is connecting with your customer through emotional intelligence?
I think it's more than that because let's say you connect with your audience on a very emotional level. You have their attention. Now what?
Right.
Right? As they say, getting the A is not the easy part. It's keeping the A. That's the hard part, right? So they say that, oh, and even I say, is that connecting with your audience once is amazing, right? You've built this emotional connection. You put in very emotional content out there, and they got interested. But what happens after that? The way an audience member becomes a customer or a loyal your loyal person is because you consistently delivered on what you promised consistently. So once they entered your world, what did you do? Did you interact with them? Did you lead them somewhere? Did you have something for them to consume? Did you have any follow-ups? Do you nurture them somehow? What happened? So you have to look at the customer journey here, is that once you get their attention, what happens? And that is up to you, right? Your content going viral and them seeing your content piece once or even following you, let's say, does not make a loyal audience member. What makes a loyal audience member or a loyal customer is that you made consistent effort to show up. You made consistent effort to move them along in the customer journey. You nurtured them so much where at the end of the day, they're like, I absolutely need to work with this person. And let's say they worked with you. Even after that, if to keep them in your world and to actually maintain that loyalty, you are the one who made the effort and said, hey, how can I help you further? Tell me more. What are you going through? Where are you now in your journey? Talk to me more. Tell me more. What's going on? You kept them in your world because you looked at where they are in their journey and you facilitated that and you kept showing up no matter what. You didn't just absolutely ghost them once they entered the world, right? Because one post or your post going viral emotionally does not make a loyal audience. It's how you consistently show up for them and actually delivering on your promises that makes a loyal audience member.
That's very wonderful to hear. And continuing what you just said, do you think that relationship building is as important as, showing up on Instagram or any other social media platform? Like we see that people, they're posting reels and they're getting good engagement, but they do not reply to
Mhm.
the comments or they do not, be there for their customers or their audience when it comes to
Mhm.
messaging. So do you think that is as important as, being there on social media?
Yes, it is, especially when you're just starting out, because people want to be seen and recognized, and they want to be acknowledged. So if they're doing the hard work and taking the time out of their day to leave you a comment, then it's only the nice thing to do to respond because you make them feel special when you do that. And the same thing for you. If you are out there seeing a creator that you absolutely admire and you leave a comment, and leaving a comment, takes energy. It's not something that's non-energy using. They want to be responded to because then they feel seen, that, oh my God, they acknowledged me. Oh my God, they saw me. So that is an absolutely very meaningful way to build relationships, but it goes beyond that, right? Relationship building is anything from creating the products that they absolutely need and nurturing those products and making it for them, creating free products for them, having lead magnets that they absolutely would love, showing up on stories all the time, showing up in a way that makes them feel special, you reaching out to them, building relationships. There's so many touch points that you can use to build relationships. But I say on a very base level, especially when you are a new creator or a new influencer, new entrepreneur, is the comment section is a very, very easy way to nurture those relationships because the creator actually remembers the names of anyone commenting. Even if you are a viral creator, if you are a commenter who shows up every single day and comments every single day, the creator will remember. And the same thing for the commenter. If you respond every single day, they will remember. But if you stop responding, eventually they'll say, okay, I don't think I want to be here anymore. So it's a very, very simple way to build relationships there.
That's true. So, as a creator, what do you think is the biggest challenge? Because every other person is now starting their own Instagram page, starting their startup. So there's a lot of noise, in content. So you, as a creator or an
Hmm.
entrepreneur, what do you think is the biggest challenge now when it comes to crafting a content strategy specifically?
I think it's not going all in usually because starting an Instagram page or starting any kind of content page or personal brand is an amazing thing. I commend anyone who wants to do that because being visible is not easy. However, seeing it through, going all in with full commitment is hard. That's going to show how committed you are to this journey, how committed you are to the audience, how committed you are to actually making an impact. Because showing up once is easy, as I said. Showing up day in, day out, every single day for the first 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, 120 days, how long can you sustain it? It's the journey that you have to see it through. And this is the struggle that I see. I see so many creators who start with all this energy, all this amazing production value, all these beautiful posts, and then they're nowhere to be seen a month after because they burnt out. So I say the biggest struggle is really gaining the momentum, sustaining the momentum, and finding your groove and going completely all in because there'll be so many struggles along the way. I want you'll see so many things happen that you didn't expect or it didn't go your way. And how do you pick yourself up when that happens? Or how do you pivot if that happens? You may start and realize that I don't think I want to do this anymore. This is not what I expected. I don't enjoy this anymore. How do you handle that? Do you quit? Do you stop? That's the biggest thing that I see is that a lot of creators don't know how to manage the unexpected, the struggles, the obstacles that come up, and they don't go completely all in and don't commit. I say to anyone, just keep going and you'll find your groove.
Is it because a lot of the influencers, the ones who are starting, they're committed to a 9 to 5 job already? Is it because of that that they, face burnout easily and, they think that, okay, this is my second option. I already have a job. Is it
Hmm.
because of that? Do you think that?
I mean, we can't speak to anyone else's struggles, but that could be a contributing factor. So I have usually found the opposite, where 9 to 5 workers, when they do start a side thing or creating content on the side, they're actually more motivated than ever. So they actually go all in because, as a former 9 to 5 worker myself who started this on the side, for me, this was the most beautiful creative outlet. I looked forward to it. I absolutely loved it. So for me, it was the opposite journey where I was more consistent. I was showing up more and more than a regular full-time creator would have. And eventually it did become full-time because I was so committed. So I say we can't really assess why someone gets burnt out, but one pattern that I see a lot is someone goes too hard too fast because there's so much conflicting advice out there saying what it takes to be successful. For example, there are people saying post 3 times a day or post only videos or you need to be everywhere on every single platform or you need to be editing videos a certain way, or you have to be only on video, etc., etc. A lot of these things go against our real nature. I mean, I don't have the energy to post 3 times a day. I don't have the energy to post videos every single day, let alone shoot videos. I don't have the energy to actually edit these videos every day. I don't have the energy to create 15 posts a day. So I think what happens is we fail to assess what our baseline personality is, and we do things that don't fall into our personality. Like, for example, there are creators who are amazing on videos. They have YouTube channels. They're showing up every day. They're vlogging every day, and they're posting every day. And we look at them and we get jealous. I wish that I had the fan base that they had. I wish that I could show up on videos the same way they do. I wish that I could be them. But we don't recognize that they have a very different personality type. That before showing up on Instagram or the online social media, they actually enjoyed video even in their free time. They recorded videos for fun. They did that for fun. And that only transitioned into social media. So they actually leaned into their personality. That's what we need to do, is we just need to lean in to who we are. And that really, really will help us not get burnt out.
That's true. So, what do you see as the intersection of content, marketing, and emotional intelligence? Do you think that they're all aligned together and they should always be part of the marketing campaign?
I say you have to look at a Venn diagram, right? Like marketing, brand building, storytelling, etc. And you know what is at the center of all of it? It's you.
Right.
At the very center of any single thing that you're going to put out, whether it's a campaign, it's a piece of content, it's a story that you're posting, it's a video that you posted, it's something that you created, anything that is a brainchild that comes out of you is your centerpiece. You are the one who is generating all of this, and you are the one who's driving all of this. So at the end, at the center of all of this is you, Eman. It is your personal brand. It is your core values. It is your why. So whenever you're thinking about putting up out a campaign and thinking about it in these very technical terms, really think about, does this align with me?
Right.
Does this represent who I am? Does this represent how I can help my audience? Does this represent the innermost essence of who I am and what I stand for? And when you always lead with that, it's never going to feel as if, it's too much work, or, oh my God, it's another campaign. Oh my God, it's just the numbers. Because that's secondary. You are at the center of it. And when you are in alignment all the time and, speaking from the very depths of yourself, then any single thing you put out will resonate because you're
Yeah.
making impact.
That's very nice. So this brings us to the end of the podcast, Seema. It was wonderful having you. At the end, would you like to give any message to our audience, especially those new content creators out there?
Absolutely. Well, thank you for making it to the end of this and listening to me. But I would like to say that everyone listening inside of them has a story, and everyone has the ability to make impact in the world, and everyone deserves to be heard. They deserve to be seen. They deserve to be visible. So if you have ever been on the fence about, I'm not sure if I should show up, I don't know if I can show up, I don't know if I have what it takes, I don't know if I'm talented enough, I don't know if I'm skilled enough, I don't know if I have anything that I can say to other people, or have anything that I can provide to other people, you absolutely do. You absolutely do. So really get to the root of what you're feeling, really uncover that, and make that journey towards being seen and being visible, because I assure you, once you do, your life will be completely transformed because you deserve to be out there. So I hope for everyone listening that you have your visibility journey and that you're able to build a thriving, very, very successful personal brand.